I'd like to introduce you to our third workshop where we're going to do some temperature calculations. This workshop involves several different skills. First, you're going to have to do routine calculations and calculate some temperatures. Second, you're going to have to use loops and you're going to have to use ifs to make decisions. So the actual structure that you're going to have to build is a little bit complicated, and it gets you to use a lot of the things we've been talking about in the lectures. So we're going to start out and we're going to create a program called temps.c. In there, we're going to define nums to be 3. That's important to use nums for all your sizes because later we're going to change it to 4 and we don't want to have to make all kinds of changes in the code. You're going to print out the title of your application, which is the IPC temperature analyzer. You're going to go in a for loop and you're going to ask them to enter a bunch of values of daily temperatures, of highs and lows. And the values for temperatures have to be between minus 40 and plus 40, and the high temperature has got to be greater than the low temperature. So you're going to say enter a high for the day number 1, enter a high for day 2, and then you're going to read that. And you're going to do this for your 3 days, which was what nums was. And in the event, if they ever enter a temperature outside the range or where the low is greater than the high, you're going to print out incorrect values and you are going to prompt them again to enter the high and low for the day, just like you did up here. You're going to print those prompts to enter the high and low again. Now, you're going to continue to do that until they give you correct numbers. So, once they give you correct numbers, you're going to allow them to continue. Here's an example of what the output should look like with the errors handled. So you're going to enter a high for day 1, 8, low for day 1, minus 2. High for day 2, 41, which is out of range. Low for day 2 is minus 4. It prints out the error message saying that it's out of range. Then you re-enter it as the high for day 2, low for day 2, then high for day 3, low for day 3. Now, in this case, your low was greater than your high, so it prints out the error message. You reverse them, put them in the right order, and then the program finishes. That's your part 1 in-lab submission. The second, and then you're going to submit that to your professor as you normally do. The second part is part 2, also known as the at-home part. And in this part, you're going to modify the part you did in part 1 to process a 4-day period instead of a 3-day period. So all you have to do there, if you programmed everything correctly, was change the value of nums in your define statement, and everything else should change automatically. You're going to display the highest temperature and the day on which it occurred. You're going to display the lowest temperature in the day in which it occurred, and then you are going to display the average low temperature and the average high temperature and the average overall temperature. Okay, so you're going to have to use loops within loops because you've got an outer for loop, which is asking for the values. You've got some kind of a do-while loop inside, which is going to check and not let them out until they give you the right values. As you read in the values, you can calculate the low temperature and the high temperature. To calculate the low temperature, what you normally do is you start out and you say, here's a variable called the lowest temperature I've seen, and this is the day it was on. So you need 2 variables, one for the temperature and one for the day. It doesn't really matter what the day is because we're going to set it later. You start out your lowest temperature at some really high value like 99 degrees, so that any real temperature you read is guaranteed to be less than that. So then, every time they enter a temperature, you ask, Is that lower than the lowest? If it is, you set this new value for new temperature you read to be the lowest, and remember what day it was on by storing the day number into the other variable. Then you do the same sort of thing with the highest temperature, but you initialize the highest temperature to be a really small value, like minus 99, so that any real temperature will be greater than that. At the end, you calculate the average of all the highs, which means you're going to need to see the sum of all the highs. You're going to store the sum of all the highs and the sum of all the lows. And then you're going to have to calculate the average of all of them, which could be just adding the average of the highs and lows together and dividing by 2, or you could add up everything and divide it by the number of days times 2. There's a couple ways of doing that calculation. So that's what we got to do. The big thing that we add here in the second part is we show you how to change the number of days, and you have to be able to calculate the day that has the highest and the day that has the lowest, as well as the averages. So here's what it looks like. We type in a high, a low, a high, a low, high, a low. We get them in the wrong order. The error message comes out. We reverse it, get it in the right order. We do this for all 4 days. It says the mean was that, the mean high was that, the overall average was this, highest was 11 on day 3, and lowest was minus 4 on day 2. So you're going to submit this with your reflection. Remember, your reflection should not be just 1 or 2 statements, but it should be, answer every one of these questions. How did pseudocoding before help? There are 3 types of iterations. Which ones did you use in your programs and why? So you don't want to just say, I used a for loop and that's it. You want to tell me why you used a for loop. If you used a do loop, why did you use a do loop? If you used a while loop, why did you use a while loop? So explain it a little more. Then you'll be able to submit it, and you're going to have to type in the values. So when it starts to run your program, it'll actually start to prompt you for input, and you should type in the exact values used in the examples here, because that's the output it is going to be looking at. So for the part 1, use this data, and for part 2, use the data for the part 2. And that's it. You're all ready to start the third workshop.